la 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 la. Mercato is crazy tonight, la 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 la. Mercato is crazy, ah, la 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 la. Mercato is crazy, ah, la 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 la. Mercato is crazy tonight, Mercato is crazy tonight, Mercato is crazy tonight, la 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 la, la 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 la. Mercato is crazy tonight, la 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 la.
Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I hope you're all doing well. I know that people are starting to get angry, impatient. Mercato is not moving. What is happening? Why is Juventus not selling any player? Why is Juventus actually not signing any player? Why are we again in a saga like last year with Koopmeiners, this time with Sancho? What about Conceição? Why are we not accelerating? I understand perfectly what you are feeling, because we are in 2025. We are in the era of social media. We are here in the era of notifications, and the notifications we receive that many that we believe that days are actually years, and that we receive that many information that the quantity is a lot but the quantity not that much. I totally understand it. We are in a new era. It's not like in the past when I was a young kid that I was obliged to have news about Juve twice a day. One time it was with the papers in the morning, one time, and then you had to wait like 1 p.m. to watch on television in Italy the news about Mercato, and that's it. And then you had zero news for the entire day, which meant actually that it was quite okay, because the day after you had a bunch of information in one time, and then you had all the time to digest it, but also to think about other things like summer, like enjoying holiday, not having school, etc., etc. Today I understand that Mercato in the mind of people is a bit like a football game, like a football competition. It's who will win the Mercato, which actually makes no sense, because there is no trophy at the end of the summer. Here, the trophy, the Champions League of the best Mercato, it doesn't exist. So calma, can we a bit relax? I know that Juventus looks like we are late, but we start in 2 weeks, il raduno, together, where we have 1 month before we start actually the real competition, which is against Parma on the 24th of August. So calma, everyone, calma. Are we late? Yeah, we could say that we are late, which is also a consequence for multiple factors, that Juventus had to wait until the end to understand if we were in Champions League or not, that we had a total overhaul of management, and the structure is defined, but the roles are still not covered, because we had a Club World Cup that ended like for Juve 1 week ago, that we just started the holiday for the players. The players, they need first to relax before starting having an idea where they want to go. So it makes sense. Is that a good sign? Is that the fact that we need to be relaxed and tranquil? No. But there are also reasons why. And also because Juventus financially is starting to improve, is starting to balance the books. But we are not in a situation where we can go totally crazy. So calma. Also because today I want to do something different with you. Of course, if there will be a breaking news, we will speak about it. But what I wanted to do together with you today is actually going on Tutto Sport of today, that are actually giving us a potential 40 names first team, with the goalkeepers, the center backs, the fullbacks, the midfielders, the trequartisti, the number 10s, the striker, also including also the winger. So 40 names there, and I really want to go step by step, player by player together with you, to give you or the latest information that we have in our possession per player, like for example Daffara, that could go already on loan to Avellino, and then looking at, does he have a future at Juventus, yes or no? 25, 26, 27, and then we go to all the players, okay? That's what I want to do today. So if you are watching the replay, don't expect just a live where we are waiting for the breaking news. That could happen, of course, but that's what we'll do together today to relax a bit the people, or trying to relax a bit the people. But guys, I think it's totally normal. Let me say hello to the people in the chat before, of course, as usual. Arakari, number one as always. Thank you for that. Ciao Lips, ciao Chevi, Silverado, ciao Juventini of the world. Nino Sport is there as well. We have a Nathan, ciao Beppe, Sancho disaster saga. Again here as well, a disaster saga. Why? Because too many people are speaking about it, and also because the same people are giving contradictory information, so that you don't know who to believe anymore. I just made a Telegram message a few seconds ago where I was watching actually from the same journalist, Fabrizio Romano, that was telling us two different news. The one of the 2nd of July, where he said after Jonathan David deal, no, that's not the one. The first one is this one, sorry. No, I was correct. The 2nd of July, so 1 week ago, where he told us Juventus have called Manchester United and Jadon Sancho's camp again this week, which he confirms that Juventus called Manchester United again, so multiple times. And then 7 days later, where he says Juventus have not sent a formal bid. Okay, no club to club negotiation. He's linking actually the YouTube video that yesterday I was not able to watch, but today I did. And in that passage in Italian, and I speak the language of Italy, well, in Italian he says there is no call from Juve, there was no call from Juve. So it's difficult for the common mortal, for the normal fan, to understand what is happening when the most reliable transfer Mercato journalist is telling us two contradictory news. We called, we don't call, we called again, we don't know. So it's quite difficult to understand and follow. So I understand that it's really, really difficult. Then I told you this morning in the video, I don't know if you watch it, but it's a really interesting video because I went into detail about what my opinion is about Jadon Sancho, the situation. And I really believe that it is what we predicted a bit here on the channel, that Juventus, they closed all the leaks of the information about Mercato, closing everything, so that the journalists, they are obliged to go and work with the third parties, the player, the entourage, the club that is owning the player, actually trying to guess the contact that Juventus could potentially have happened, and then trying to have that information. What is missing, of course, is the missing piece of the puzzle is Juventus Football Club. And that's why we have contradictory information. That's what I said about the chaos of Jadon Sancho, because we don't know the real intentions of Juve about the Englishman. And that's what I wanted to say. Ciao, Cap, grandissimo Cap. We need to close the deals early next week, or else we'll have a horrible preseason. We need all to understand the Tudor tactics. Well, one of the requests, Grande Thomas, I'm happy that you're here. The big request of Tudor's teams is intensity. Intensity that you can grow only with one thing, is having a fantastic preseason in terms of putting minutes, strength in the legs, so that you can actually achieve optimal physical condition where we are far from. Will we be able to reach it? Well, we know that Club World Cup, that brought a bit of money to the club Juventus, not as much as we wanted, because of course beating Real Madrid we could have gone a bit more further in the competition, would have had more money, also because we missed the Champions League further stage after elimination against PSV, will not participate to the Super Copa in Riyadh or in Jeddah. I don't know where they will organize it this season. We will not be there. We were out of the Coppa Italia, so we are missing a lot of money, so it compensates a bit, but it's not that it's making a world of difference. But what is making a world of difference is the fact that Juventus will start a bit later, like Inter, but not like all the other teams that are about to start also. So intensity is a big one, and that one I agree. I don't want to see anymore a Cope Manus, a Nico Gonzalez, or Chico Conceição that are arriving on the third day of Serie A, where we never saw the players. They just met the coach, that was Thiago Motta at the time, and they enter in the second half. That would be a big mistake. Then can we do it differently? We will try, but there is a lot of work, and that's why I want to go towards that list. Adidas deal might what, Ferenc? Tell me, what about the deal with Adidas? Because I don't get what you are saying here. I know that we renewed until 2037, but I don't know what it changed, because we already had anyway until 2027. So I don't know what it could change. Yeah, you have security about having a sponsor for some money for the next 10 years, but it will not impact that much, not at all, this one. ciao grande, Federico. Stiller is a fantastic player. Stiller is a fantastic player, but I don't think that he's an objective of Juve at the moment. I know that Real Madrid was looking for him. At the moment, there are no further targets. Real Madrid is pissed off after the huge big elimination against Paris Saint-Germain and the humiliation, can we say, 4-0, where Xabi Alonso said this player out of the team. I think, if I'm not wrong, it's Rodrigo, it's Brahim Diaz, and it is another player, Ceballos, I think. I'm not sure. Three players where he's pissed off about. Porto, attenzione, Sky Sport is telling us that Porto have lowered their 30 million asking price for Conceição to 25. However, Juve latest offer is 22. It's an old news. Kale, thank you for reporting with it's an old news because we are speaking about it since yesterday afternoon on Juventus with Nico Schira that anticipated it, then Di Marzo in the night, and I reported these news this morning in the video. So, but thanks you to reporting because it's apparently correct, or at least this is what they are reporting at the moment. Fares with a beautiful donation. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you. Really, really, really appreciate it. I don't know, guys, if I show you enough appreciation when you are becoming a member, when you are extending memberships, when you are doing a donation. I don't know if I thank you enough. Let me know if I am grateful enough in your eyes. Let me know. But thank you. Really, really, really thank you. Okay, guys, do you agree with the planning of today? That we go towards what we said, means player by player, and we go with latest news. Can he become a Juve player, yes or no? Who is ready for that? Let me know, or if you want something else in the meanwhile, let me know. Ciao Chielo Star, ciao Mao Music, just logged in, Dushan update. Dushan update, I'm a bit tired about speaking about Dushan, to be honest, because we speak every single day about it. Getting extended his contract to 2030. I don't know who you are speaking about. Alexander Freely, ready, my lord, for oh yeah, ciao Bep and all. Okay, so hyped. Oh my god, why are you hyped? Oh yeah. We'll speak about Dusan Vlahovic when we will arrive to his name, so we will have to wait a bit because he's a striker, and then we start with the goalkeepers. Okay, we'll go towards all the players, so it makes no sense to go with random questions about strikers or offensive players, because I really want to do that. So, are we ready? Can you please tell me, yes or no, we are ready for this? Because you will have all your answers ready. Da Fara, Di Gregorio, and look, we have Costa, we have Nico Gonzalez that is there, we have Dusan Vlahovic that is there as well. So if you're ready, we start. And then faster we start, faster we go to all the players. Are you ready? Okay. Emiliano is saying yes. Carlo is saying let's go. Yes. Vamos. Okay. So today in Tuttosport, what they are telling us is now, of course, there are some targets like Colomani, Conceição that are not Juve players as we speak. Sancho is a target, Xhaka is a target, Piqueres from Palmeiras is a target, Caprile, goalkeeper, Hansko. So these players are targets. Magnifici Sette, the seven magicians, not magicians, but magnificents. But now we are obliged to start boosting the sales. This is the priority of Comoli now, because they're telling us that we have potentially a team of 40 players. So I was like, 40 players is a lot. 40 players is really a lot. Where are these names coming from? And going really fast, what do I see? I see Dafara, Garofani, I see players like Gil Pucce, I see players like Kudrik, etc., where I'm saying to myself, yeah, but of course, you arrive to 40 players if you're adding the next-gen players, which makes no sense, because they are not first-team players. But then, if you are actually looking at why they are putting it and reading the article, you see that these are players that could potentially dream about a first-team position, or that were already called up by Tudor, or that are close to the 23 years, because you know that then in next gen, once you arrive at 23, it's over. You cannot play anymore because you have only 3 slots for over 23 years old. That's why they are actually adding them there, or they are closer to the 23, or they are already a bit in the first team scene, like a bit Dafara that was there with us in USA as a second goalkeeper, and that's why. So wait, because first I need to say something, because I always forget, but this time I really need to say it before starting, that I want to say a big shout out to our friend Sway Pace 10 that every day is writing me on Instagram. So Sway Pace 10, we did it live. Shout out for you. Thank you for all the follow, for all the support, my friend. Thank you for that. So if you are still here in the chat with us and you heard your name, I hope that you are happy. Let me know in the chat because I'm really curious. Let me first read the two messages. The one of Fares. Do you think any news on the remaining stuff of Tudor? There was one name that could reinforce him as a technical staff. I forgot the name. Nothing really crazy in terms of, revolution, but just one name that could or is already aggregating to Tudor. Tudor will continue to work. I know holiday for the Croatian coach, except of a few days here and there, but he wants already to continue to work with the existing staff, maybe adding up, but at the moment no other names leaked there. Also because don't forget that a lot of people from Juve, in terms of communication, this and that, they are on holiday. So no, at the moment no, we have time until in 2 weeks, where the request from Tudor to go with a bit more extra large technical staff, we will see who will enter. Allora, another message from Naggio. Thank you for the donation, my friend. I personally was happy when Dusan came to us. I really hoped he would make his mark at Juve, and now I can't wait for him to leave at all cost. I think this is for 95% of the fans the same feeling, Mlaggio. The same feeling. I understand what you're saying. I agree also with that. I remember I went totally nuts, crazy when he arrived. David, thank you from Sweden. Ciao. If it's between Conceição and Sancho, we should pick Conceição. He has a Juve history and less baggage. Yes, David. We will go towards the situation of Conceição and Sancho in a second when we'll go there. But at the moment, the objective of Juve is to actually find a solution for Nico Gonzalez first, as soon as possible. There were some offers, but okay, now we start because it's important, otherwise we'll never get there, with the first name on the list. And the first name on the list is Dafara. We go really fast, or we try to go really fast. Dafara, goalkeeper, should go really soon on loan, 1 year loan, to Avellino. He's a goalkeeper that grew extremely well in the youth academy, Primavera, fantastic, especially in the next gen, where he's too good to be in third division. We don't want to have him on the bench as a second goalkeeper because it will be a wasted talent. It will actually stop his growth because it's a player that needs to play, that needs to continue to play, to continue to develop himself, to play for something. Avellino just were promoted from the Serie C. They were in the same group as Juve, by the way, to Serie B, so it's a good loan for him. It's really a good loan where he will be a starting goalkeeper, Dafara, and that's one name. Could he be in the future of Juve? Why not, depending how he's developing, but now we have Di Gregorio. Di Gregorio that stays at Juve. There is absolutely no talk to change the number 1 of Juve or the number 29 of Juve. He has the trust of Tudor, convinced the management as well, has a quite low salary if you are comparing with ex-goalkeepers that we had at Juve, like Gianluigi Buffon, like Szczesny, etc., etc. So he is the number 1. Garofani, there are reflections about him because he was not a starter in next gen. It's a player that they are thinking, what do we do with Garofani? Can he become the first goalkeeper of the next gen, or should we stop with Garofani, trying to find a solution for him? Will we sell him for 1 million, 2 million, 3 million? No, but it's a player that could potentially leave Juventus. Like Perin, that could potentially ask to leave. Now he's still in guarigione, how do you say, is in healing phase for the surgery that he had, and then Perin could ask to go away, especially if a team is coming knocking at the door of Perin telling him you can become the first team goalkeeper, something that Milan was not able to give him. He was waiting a bit the situation with Maignan that will stay at Milan. But Perin, if there is a team, I'm just saying, for example, a Genoa, a Sassuolo, etc., that are promising him a starting spot in first division in Italy, or because he would love to stay in Italy. He has 3 kids, he would love to stay there. That's a goalkeeper that could leave. Of course, if he leaves, then you need to go for a second goalkeeper. That goalkeeper could potentially be Caprile, if I'm not wrong, owned by Napoli, but this player here owned by Napoli, but it's a player that is, or he played at Cagliari, if I'm not wrong. He's 23, he's a young goalkeeper that could potentially become the second goalkeeper of Juve. We go fast, because we have the new name, it's Pinsoglio. Pinsoglio is here also to stay next season as a third goalkeeper. He will not be promoted to the second goalkeeper spot. He is there to stay as a third goalkeeper. And that was for the goalkeepers. Do you have some questions about goalkeeper? Do you want to add something? It's now the moment to do it, but we went really fast because the only big news are for Daffara and Perin, where at the moment there are no requests from other clubs at the moment, but let's see if you have now. Otherwise we go towards the defenders. Dorsium that offered a membership randomly, and it went to J Nava that noticed it and immediately said thank you for the offered membership. So thank you, Dorsium, as well. Really appreciate it, my friend. Let me see. Happy for Di Gregorio from LJJ. Bravo. Infatti, il sindaco della Germania. Goalkeepers, all good. Yeah, now we have a really great Di Gregorio. I'm happy also in the tournament in the US, he really showed even more. He convinced also the no-sayers, I believe. Ciao Beppe, ciao Paolo. Is Comoli hiring help? Or is he getting used to and maybe enjoying being the only guy in charge? But we know that it's a person that he said it, guys. There is no lies about it. There is no. He said, guys, at the press conference, because we did the press conference live or post conference. He said clearly, for the sporting director, it could even come after the summer. I have a big experience because my career, except of being CEO of Toulouse, I have a huge experience in a sporting director. I know the job. I know the secrets of the job. I can take care of it. So it's not about getting used to. That's what he did his entire life. And now he probably has 1 or 2 names that he has really clear in mind for sporting director. And probably these sporting directors are already working for other clubs. What are they trying to do? They are trying actually that these sporting directors are closing actually with the club that they are working for, so that in September probably it's easier for them to say, okay, I leave the club I'm working for and I'm joining the team of Comoli. Probably that's the reason why he's actually doing everything. Does he need help now in this moment? I'm not even sure, honestly. I am not even sure. Because he's taking anyway the decision. And by the way, when we are listening at the structure of the club that you can agree or disagree with, but the new structure of the club is clear. It's crystal clear. The strategy of the club for the role of sporting director, it will be someone that will prepare all the work, the scouting work, going on the spot, watching, having these first contacts, speaking. But at the end, the final one that has a say, the one that will decide, that will sit together with everyone from Juve and say, okay, who do we go for? Who do we really push for as objective A, B, and C from all the work that sporting director did? It is Comoli. So on that one, it will not change at all. So according to me, absolutely no problem there. Because the preparation work is anyway too late now. Too late for a new sporting director to arrive and starting these discussions. So no. Then is it getting used to do everything alone? It's one that we know it. He loves to be in charge. That the history that is telling us that he loves to be in charge. Absolutely not scared to take some decision to go for it. No. Thank you, Paolo. Galatasaray have no money. Al Hilal going for Moiskin. Terminate Vlahovic. Let's get it done. That's a lot of information. Nick, first of all, thank you for your donation. It's not that Galatasaray have no money. They have money, but probably not the 75 million euro in terms of guarantee of payment that I can give to Napoli, which Napoli said, oh, if you cannot guarantee you all of that money, then we stop the negotiation. And that's correct. Now, Al Hilal is going for Moiskin. Thank you. That's true. They are trying to, because they tried for multiple players that didn't succeed, like Osimhen, like Dusan Vlahovic, like a lot of big players. And now Simone Inzaghi really would love to go for Moiskin. 57 million is the close of the Italian ex-Juve, and they are actually promising him 20 million euro, which would be crazy, because the two strikers of the Italian national team will probably both play in the same league that is not in Europe. Crazy. Terminate Vlahovic, let's get it done. It's easier said than done, because then don't complain that we have only one striker, and Jonathan and David, there are no two players, it's one player, Jonathan David. So if you want to do these kind of things, yeah, it's easier for us to terminate. Let's terminate and we move on. No, it's not like that is working, Nick. Unfortunately, would be really nice, but that's not how the world is working from. Allora, torniamo sulle notizie. Let's go back to the news, because now we have, of course, the center backs to speak about. Gleison Bremer. Gleison Bremer, super fast. What are the latest news about Gleison Bremer? That he should be back from day one of training session with Juventus Football Club, so on the 24th, doing everything, and then going towards a first game or first minutes on the 10th of August against Borussia Dortmund. Probably not from the start, but that's the idea of Bremer. He's not on the market. Nobody would go for it because they are waiting. Then, if he's doing extremely well at the end of next season, could he leave for an important offer? That's another story, but that's way too far away. The big question mark that we all have is, will Bremer be immediately the player that we knew, or will it be a player that we will need to give a bit of time? He will be crucial for Tudor, but also for Juve, because we saw how we started last season with Bremer, and we saw that change of way of playing of season without Gleison. And that's the news for him. A lot of people are still asking, Beppe, what about Cabal? Beppe, what about Cabal? What about Cabal? Cabal is not ready yet. He's not ready yet. He was injured, nearly the same injury as Gleison, 1 month after Bremer. What is really frustrating is that it happened with the national team, because he arrived there, landed with the plane, and in the afternoon immediately went to training session. Probably it was a bit too much, and we missed him for the remaining part of the season. Then also to understand what will be the position of Cabal in the eyes of Tudor. Will he play in a 3-man defense on the left? Will he play on the left being the sub of Cambiaso there? When will he be ready? He will probably not take part with the teammates of in the Retiro. That's probably a player that if you want to recuperate, you will have to wait at least the month of September, probably October. He was injured in the month of November, so let's see. Jaló. Okay, Jaló is back from loan from Porto. They have absolutely no intention to sign him. It's a player that we bought, I believe, for 3.5 million euros. So it's not a player that is actually blocking anything. It's not a player that is putting Juventus in difficulty, but it's also a player that is not in the plans of Juve. It's a player that whatever offer is coming, Juventus is taking it into consideration. That is the player, of course, that needs to say, yes, I accept that or not, but Jaló will not be in the team 25-26. So from the 40s players, we are already moving Dafara, Garofani, waiting for Perin to decide. Here we have a Bremer, we have a Cabal, but no Jaló. And then Gatti that should renew his contract as soon as he's back from holiday. So probably that will be the beautiful surprise for the Gatti lovers. From the first week of, maybe not the first week, because it's the 24th, is a Thursday, but probably from the week after the first news. So starting with a bang for Gatti lovers, that he will put black on white his signature to say, I continue with Juve. So he is a player that will stay at Juve also next season. Also because of the situation, Bremer, also because we have no other center backs, it's a player that is not on the market. Oh, then if Newcastle arrives and offers 50 million euro for Gatti, and Gatti is even open to listen to, Juventus would not say no. So it's not an untouchable for Juve, but at today, there is no plan for Juve to let him go. That's important also to say. Gil Pucce is there. Why? Because he was 2 or 3 times on the bench of Juve last season when we really needed a bit of depth on the bench. It's a player that was not even supposed to be in the next gen last season, because in the next gen we also had the injuries of Pedro Felipe and Stivanello, 2 players that were injured for the entire season. Well, he made that promotion, and not only he was there on the bench, but he was immediately a starter, where he did really well. And Thiago Motta was like, the guy is really interesting. It's also a player that was observed by Igor Tudor, that took him also for training sessions to understand a bit the level of the player. At the end, even if we were a bit ticky in defense, he decided to not call him for the Club World Cup, probably because he's not ready yet to give what Igor Tudor wants. Would be crazy also, immediately, like these really fast step, bam, 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 to the first team. But that's not a player that is, according to me, on the market. But this could be potentially the season where we will start seeing him making his debut for the first team. So a player that will be a next-gen player, a starter of the next-gen without any doubt. And then, like when you have the opportunity, when you want to reward and there are no games on the same day, etc., could be a player that could start feeling the atmosphere of the first team. But that's the player that we don't sell. Facundo Gonzalez, there are already talks with Genoa to let him go. It's a player that went 1 year in Eredivisie in the Netherlands to go on loan with an option to buy that has not been taken. He also didn't play that much, if I'm not wrong, like not even 500 minutes, if I'm not wrong, 300 something. So it's a player that couldn't really have that playing time there, but it's a player of quality, but not Juve material, according to me. Not today, and before it happens, I think it's long. So Facundo Gonzalez could go to Genoa, also because, like Serraz is reporting, the sale of the winter, Genoa would love to do again something like that. A player from Juve, young player from Juve, to go with a bet with Genoa can afford themselves, and going with bets with Juve cannot. We cannot wait for everyone. Facundo Gonzalez couldn't show his strength with an Eredivisie team, so will be tough to have him as a first team player. Then Juventus could potentially also sell him, indeed, putting a 50% clause, or a 20 or a 30, or maybe, I don't know what agreement they can have there, but it will not be something that will make you rich, but maybe in the future can make you at least winning a lot of money. But Facundo Gonzalez would not be a player from Juve. Kalulu, super easy, is a player that was made permanent by Juve. Actually, when we were saying we did one move on the Calcio Mercato, it's not true, because we started immediately with Kalulu, making him permanent, and then Jonathan David's already 2 players. But Kalulu is now permanently a Juve player. I interrupt a bit the list before going to the next names to read the message of Bob Jerunkel. But in the meanwhile, let me know if you like the format of today, the live of today, where we go towards boom, 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 boom. What are the news? We know it. Then we will go towards the strikers, the midfielders, and there will be probably a lot more to say. What do you think about Tudor things of West? But we will arrive there, Bob. We'll arrive to Weston McKennie, Bob. So I park it because we will arrive to Weston McKennie. Okay? So Bob, stay with us, because I will answer that question in a second. Okay? Now, we are not speaking yet about the players that come potentially. If we have time, we will do that after these ones. Okay? So let me finish the list because we have 2 names on the list, and then we can start making a point about the defenders. If you want to also speak about potentially players that can come in, we can go through that as well. Okay, what are the other names on that list? It is Lloyd Kelly. Lloyd Kelly, that I will tell you a backstage story, has been appreciated a lot by Igor Tudor in the beginning for the efforts, for the professionalism, the way of training, for a lot of things, but also for some games that he played at Juve. But we understood as well that for the money that we signed him for, Lloyd Kelly is not the starter of Juve. Lloyd Kelly is a player that, if there is an offer, Lloyd Kelly could go. So this is the decision that has been taken because, yes, okay, professionalism, someone that is working hard, someone that is not making any trouble, that is just dedicated to the work. But it's a player that has no future long-term at Juve also because it's a player that is, if I'm not wrong, 26, 27. So it's a player that, guys, has no future of Juve. I'm not sure if there will be some offers. I'm not sure if Juventus will be able to let him go because don't forget that we invested a lot of money for Lloyd. But Lloyd could leave. And then we have a Rugani that we saw today, the news or the video on YouTube from Juve. I can also confirm because I was there in front, something that I already told you. I was there in that exact moment where you see an Alexandro with Cambiaso, with Rugani, with Danilo. I was there and I heard it from my ear, so I didn't need a YouTube video to report. I was not sure. I didn't think actually that Juventus would have put it in their YouTube video, but what do we hear? Alexandro saying to Rugani, "Oh, but you never die, huh?" And actually, this is really the situation of Rugani that went to Rennes before going on loan in Italy, coming back, then stay at Juve, then again went this time to Ajax, and he's back. And he's back for, I believe he has 1 more year at Juve. Juventus that they don't know at the moment also because we don't know about the movements of the different defenders, what we will do, but Rugani has what intention is to stay at Juve. He wants to stay at Juve. You know that he is a Juventino. I had the opportunity to interview him and I asked him also that question in backstage before asking him live. I said, can I ask you the question? Are you a Juventino? He told me, yeah, Beppe, you can ask me because I'm a Juventino since ever. So he would love to stay at Juve. It's something that he's trying to do with a lot of application. He played actually quite well against Real Madrid. I agree with Paolo that he's saying, look, I liked his performance in US against Real because that's the only game that he played. But he has always been like that. He's always been the player that we never speak about him, but then we call him out of emergency and he never disappoints. So it's a player that wants to stay, and Juventus, for the salary that he has, for everything, is even taking it into consideration, but it depends really a lot. Now I know that there is the news about Gianluca Di Marzio. We'll go fast towards it, but it's an important one. Juventus contacts are continuing with Porto for Conceição. They are looking for the agreement on the transfer for a permanent deal. What does that mean? That Juventus, they put aside actually the offers, the possibilities to have the player an extra year on loan, which they tried. Honestly, they tried. If we go towards the article of Di Marzio, let's go. Up. What do we see? They continue. I know that they are repeating a lot in the beginning. In the last hours, Comoli offered 22 million euro that were refused by Porto that asked for 25 million euro. Also today, the contacts continue between the two teams with the objective to find the deal for the player. So actually, there is absolutely no update about Conceição except of what we told you in the video of this morning. So just telling us that in the last few hours there were contacts again between the clubs. Oh, yes, Sasha, I agree. It's a tough club to deal with, but on the other side, we don't go for the close, but we go for possibly 25 million euro. At the end, I give you a feeling. At the end, I really believe that Conceição will be officialized as a Juve player quite fast. That could be the next name that could come. Okay? It depends. Contacts or calls, I don't know, Sir Raz. I don't know. But yeah, I think that Conceição could be that player. Then you're telling me, Beppe, but all that story for 5 million euro, couldn't we just go pay the close and basta? Oh, Beppe, why are we 5 million euro? I know, because 5 million euro here, 3 million euro here, 10 million euro here, a bit here, a bit there, trying to sell some players at some conditions. At the end, you go with an extra player. With an extra player that could possibly be a Hansko. Because at the moment, Feyenoord is asking 30 million euro, which is way too much for the player. Well, maybe you can go for him with 20 million euro. Because that's what you have. So, wait. Calma. How many players do we realistically see coming this summer? I think 5 more new faces. Or 4 plus Conceição and Colomwani on top of Jonathan David. So, because Colomwani and Conceição are not Juve players at the moment. So, Jonathan David, Colomwani, Conceição, try. If it's not these two, then we have 2 other names. And then probably 4 more players, realistically. And then, I don't know what level of players, and we will speak about that in the coming transfer market session. But that's the first thing that I really wanted to go through. Martin is saying, I have the feeling that Sancho won't join, which is sad because he has qualities. I don't think that 30 million is too much for Hansko. English teams will overpay if we wait. Yeah, but at the moment we cannot because we don't have the money there. So we need to understand what we can do, and that's why 5 million is super important to decrease, and the 5 million that maybe can be invested for Hansko. So super important. I agree. Hansko is the player. Is the player that I really would love to reinforce our center back, because I can already imagine Hansko, Bremer at top qualities again physically, and having Kalulu or a Gatti on the right side. That's a really beautiful defense. You already have 4 names. Gatti, Kalulu, Bremer, Hansko. I would even add Rugani that is giving me guarantees, and then you need 1 more name there depending who you can put. But yeah, it starts to be beautiful. Paolo is saying we have the money. No, Paolo. I saw your comment also today on under the video of this morning where you said, Beppe, that story of we have no money, it's not true. Yeah, of course. Juventus is not at the risk of collapse. Juventus has some money, but you know that Juventus is trying as far as possible to break even the books, which we are not at the moment. So Juventus, they already, with John Elkann, with the ownership, already invested too much in terms of capital increase, something that they don't want eternally doing. They don't want to do it again, because we saw it, 15 million euro to actually split the roads with Thiago Motta. 15 million euro more because we were not able to sell Bangula and Wea before the 30th of June. So it's not true that it depends how you say it. If you want to say, do we have money? Is Juventus a team that has some money? Yes, we have some money. Yes, we have some money. But do we have spending money regarding the books, paying attention to financial fair play? That is still an important factor. Do we have the revenues that are matching this and this and this on that side? No, we need to pay attention because we are not yet at the level of being able to spend with closed eyes. This is something that we cannot do. So it makes no sense also to lie to people. No, we cannot invest in Osimhen 75 million euro without understanding further situation of Dusan Vlahovic. We cannot. We cannot go for Retegui for 50 million euro from Atalanta. We cannot. We cannot, because if you do so, If you do so, well, you have not enough margin to go for 7 players. So yes, you have a bit that you can move, but do you put everything in the beginning of the Mercato on the 10th of July on one player? Is that what you want to do? Being limited in the rest? I would really pay attention to the narrative, how we are seeing it. No, Juventus is not about to collapse. But financially, in the books, we are not yet in green. That's important that we are saying it to people. Now, do we start immediately with him? Yeah, we start immediately with him, and then we'll take 2 minutes of break. But look. That's exactly what cannot happen here. The message of Nick. No, you cannot terminate Vlahovic and signing Osimhen quickly. Nick, with all the respect and thank you for the donation, this is not how it works. This is not how it works, because Dusan Vlahovic is 42 million euro worth in Juventus expenses for season 25-26. So if you terminate the contract, which means that the player, you let him go for free, so 24 million euro from the value of the player is still in your books that you're just throwing away. 24 million euro. On top of that, you will probably save 24 million euro of salary that you need to pay to the player, but it's a bloodbath. It's a real disaster. So if you are actually saving 24 gross from the salary of the player and you terminate the contract, you say, okay, we save 24, we lose 24, it's a zero operation. And it's easy like that, a zero operation. First of all, Vlahovic needs to agree that we terminate this contract, because if you terminate this contract and you say we don't pay you because you are not here, he will say no, because I don't have a team that is satisfying my needs, so I don't accept that you terminate my contract. Because to terminate the contract, you need to be both parts that are agreeing. So he will say, okay, you want to terminate my contract, give me 15 million euro instead of 24 gross, give me 15. And then it's a disaster. So it's not as easy as that. And then, can you go to Napoli and signing Ozzy quickly? No, you cannot. You cannot. Because first of all, the clause ends in 4 minutes. In 4 minutes. The clause that was only valid for foreign countries ends. And from there, you need to negotiate with Aurelio De Laurentiis, that has absolutely no intention to give a beautiful gift for Juve, or to close an eye, or to help Juve. So it doesn't work like that, Nick 21. It doesn't work like that, with all the respect that I have. No, I know it's not your money and you don't care, but that's not how it works. Except if Paolo wants to tell us that we have 3 billion euro to spend on the transfer market, but except of that, I can guarantee you that this is not how it works. We come from far. We come from extremely far. So the big news from Di Marzio is big news. Was already, he's also there on the thumbnail, so we will speak about him. But it's hot track in Portugal. Alberto Costa towards Sporting Clube de Portugal. I tell you in a second when we go towards the wingers, and we will start with Alberto Costa. So we'll do Cambiaso as a second name, but we will start with Alberto Costa. And I have unpopular opinion about Alberto Costa, but for that, give me 2 minutes because it's really warm, so I need to put the fan on. Taking some water, and then I come back for Alberto Costa, for the defenders, for the midfielders, and for the strikers trying to accelerate a bit. So give me a minute, I come back. Paolo is telling me just accounting. I know that you are also working with numbers, Paolo, but not to be or actually not to have a big ego. But accounting has been a part of my job. You know that as a retail manager, my big objective was actually making sure that our stores that I was managing more than 150 people towards Europe, that the stores were profitable. So every Monday I was there with P&L, profit and loss, documentary, explaining the expenses, the revenues, what you spent in terms of depreciation, etc., etc. This was part of also how I was managing the store. So I would love to be telling you I have absolutely no idea what I'm speaking about, but on that one it's not true because that was part of my job. I have 20 years as a manager, and P&L documents, so profit and loss, were part of my job. So I can tell you that Juventus, yes, they have the money. They are a solid club, but we took a lot of hits in terms of our financial books, especially if we didn't receive external help from the ownership. So raising the only PNL I know are the French rappers. No, it's a bit different. It's not PNL, it's profit and loss reports from especially when you are working for financial companies like I work to. They didn't care about the human side. They were caring only about the profit and loss reports. And if the stores were not profitable, then at a certain moment they said, Beppe, you did a bad job. Pepe, find a solution, otherwise the door is there. So I can guarantee you that my bonuses were also on a profit and loss documentary before the quality of the service that we were trying to give in the stores. So no, I know that you are I know that you are laughing and making jokes, Paolo. But I think that sometimes it's important. No, I honestly. But now I'm working for my own. But in my experience, I have never been fired. Never. Luckily. So you studied economy risk in Belgium? No, Gedeone. I learned on the spot. I did handle when I was at school, so commercial studies in the beginning. Then I did also tourism. Then I did actually I finished my studies doing how can I say the word? It was orthopedagogy. It's actually educating people or being someone that could be in charge of an institution for a person with a mental or physical disability. So I did a lot of internship. I did a lot of internship in daycares for people with mental disabilities, but also internship in psychiatria with people with a lot, but also physical. No, it's not that. It's not ergotherapia. That's different. Pinking. So that's why a lot of time I'm able to have a good understanding of what is important in life and what not. So sometimes when I see a player that is leaving, I say, okay, it's sad, of course, but is this the most important thing of life? No, because I saw much worse and much more difficult things. The psychiatry experience must be helpful when dealing with the live chat, Beppe. I tell you the truth? Yeah. Yes, it's true. Yes, it's true. It helped a lot. I had a lot of psychology at school as well. So, yeah, it helps a lot. It helps a lot. Anyway, let's go back because there was a breaking news about our friend Alberto Costa. But first, let me read the one of Zakaria. Zakaria Ayad, thank you for the donation. I think Como will be the PSG of Serie A in 10 years. They are extremely, but also that's a really beautiful name that you're saying. It's a really beautiful reality that has been bought by extremely rich owners. But at the moment, you see that they cannot just go and sign anybody. Like Newcastle, for example, they need time because you have also the parameters to be able to spend in terms of the percentage of the revenue that you have. So they need to grow, and they will grow. So the 10 years plan that you have could possibly be true, but they cannot go immediately now and signing Douglas Luiz. Boom, permanently, €5 million, because the cost would be totally out of control. But it's a beautiful name. Also, them, even if they have extremely rich owners, they need a plan to grow in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, where they want to be. Thank you for the donation, an extremely beautiful comment. Big Domxiano, questi esuberi mi stanno rompendo le palle, andiamo. Hai ragione. He's saying the people that are out of the team or that we are not part of the project anymore are annoying me a lot. Let's go. So I agree with the statement of Big, and then Nick that is again telling us doesn't his release close and the 15th of July. That's what was reporting in the beginning, but then some leaks were telling us that the release close is the 10th of July, speaking about Aussie men. Then we go immediately, what I promised you, because he's also on the thumbnail, before Cambiato, we speak about Alberto Costa. What is the latest news about Alberto Costa? We see Gianluca Di Marzio that is saying hot track between Sporting and Juventus about the player. Let's read the article so that I can tell you. I see that we are nearly 400 people, so I expect also that we have at least 300 likes. Let me give a look. We have only 177 likes. I don't know what I need to do to deserve more likes from your side. I have absolutely no idea. We are nearly 400 and we don't reach them. Did we grow here in terms of people? One person, one extra Juventino was able to discover the channel while we were speaking. But in terms of like, we are really far, far, far from what is acceptable. Now, going towards the news of bravo Francisco Chegado. Let me check. You were 38,829. Bravo Francisco Chegado. So let's go to the news of Alberto Costa. Alberto Costa, Juventus contacts continue Porto for Conceição, and Alberto Costa towards Sporting. We already read the one of Conceição, so let's speak about okay. Chapter exits. Still ongoing talks with Portugal. So if we want from Portugal, Porto, Conceição, Alberto Costa towards Sporting. That's the only thing that he wrote in the article. But I clicked, so Di Marzio became rich thanks to us today. But what are the news about Alberto Costa? That today Sporting, they were really being serious about the player. They want to invest €20 million for the Portuguese player Alberto Costa, that didn't find any fortune with Thiago Motta, but then because of first necessity and then also because of conviction started to have minutes with Igor Tudor. Disaster game against Manchester City, couldn't stop Doku. Better against Real Madrid, Vinicius. Okay, my opinion, that is unpopular. I promised you to give you an unpopular opinion on that one, is that I personally don't qualify Alberto Costa as a long-term Juve player. He's too far from becoming a starter. Could possibly be a Jolly that enters from the bench and that is pushing. But I don't see him today being a Serie A Juve player. That's my opinion. I know that he impressed a lot of person with the offensive plays, with the offensive runs. Alberto Costa that we see taking the ball, going up. But he's really a player that has absolutely no awareness about space, about defending, about the role, about how to respect the position, how to pay attention in the back if you are leaving your position. He's a player that tactically is miles away from what we need in Serie A. I think it's a qualitative player. Giuntoli was not wrong. The player has qualities. Will he get there? Could be, but it will need some time. I know it's a controversial one because I know that a lot of people, they are actually looking at the offensive side and they neglect the defensive side. I always try to find, especially for some players, both trying to study. And he impressed me for his will. He impressed me for his thinking ahead, thinking forward, attacking spaces to enter. But he really, and I watched him a few times now. I watched him, I believe, 4 times live, watching games, I believe 4 times, where defensively, but tactically as well, he did impress me at all. And we know that in a team like Juve, you need that as well. So, if you are able, after a few months, to take a plusvalenza of 8 million, you signed him for 12. 6 months have gone. I don't remember how long the contract was, but probably like 2 million already gone, so it's 10 million. So you can do a profit of 10 million immediately for a player if you sell him at 20. Will we regret a player like Alberto Costa? Yes, when you will see the highlights and skills that are coming from Portugal, if he goes there, because you will see, of course, the highlights and skills of his offensive plays, about his runs, about the goals, about the assists that he will do, and we will regret and we will say, attenzione. It's not a big dribbler. It's not the one that is able to go man-on-man to create superiority thanks to him carrying the ball and dribbling his man. That's not the player that he is. Juventus, they have one objective in mind, and it is Dodo. I can tell you that Dodo, that I am a bit annoyed with, because he made a promise long time ago, so not the one that we heard now, but already a promise that came out, that he would never go to Juve, and he promised it to someone that passed away, to Joe Barone, that was at Fiorentina back then. But I can tell you that if you tell me Dodo or Alberto Costa, with the experience of Dodo already in Serie A, with the way of playing of Dodo, I go for Dodo immediately, without any doubt. If you're able to sell Alberto Costa and you make a profit of 10 million and you can negotiate towards a 25, 26 for Dodo, I would not hesitate. Then my problem is, like Drin is actually pointing out, and this is something that I said today at 12 p.m. when I was on Juventus, my problem would be to see on the right side and Dodo and Chico Conceição, because they are the same size. 166 for Dodo, and Conceição is the same size. So you have 2 extremely short players. Not offensively, because who cares if they are small? We are not playing basketball, so it's not that they need at a certain moment to go and dunk over a basketball circle. That's not what they need to do. But we were a disaster on corner kicks, offensively and especially defensively. And on the second post, usually you put one of the wingers or the right side players there on the second post, on the far post. Guys, this is a problem. This is a huge problem. So we need to really pay attention with the size that matters. Some girls, they will say size doesn't matter. But in football, size matters also. Then I was looking, at clubs with short sizes. What do we see? 172 for Vitinha, 174 for Joao Neves. But then you are looking at Nuno Mendes is 180. Hakim is 181. Then you have a Marquinhos that is... people are laughing in the chat. I'm speaking about football, Abai. I'm speaking about football, Doué 181, Kvaratskhelia 183, So you see, it's not 166, so we need to pay attention. We need really to pay attention. If you're looking at Alexander Arnold, is 180, for example. Huijsen is huge, is really tall, Huijsen. So we need also to pay attention with that, because too many short players in some position can be risky. But Alberto Costa could potentially go. You can cash in on Alberto Costa. That I don't consider a starter at Juve. I could consider him a player that is ready to enter. What do you think about that? Alberto Costa. Should we do a poll before speaking about the other ones? So, poll about Alberto Costa. As he has that, sell or keep. I tell you, again, young player can develop, but if you can cash in now with the money that we need, I would potentially do it. If we keep him, I'm happy as well. But I would do it. He's too far tactically from... I saw him with my eyes. Maybe I'm not an expert. Maybe I'm wrong. But he's too far. Really too far. It's not 20 million plus Valencia. If you sell him for 20 million, then you do more or less 10 million of plus Valencia. That's always the big question. Depends how you use the money. Always. Keep Costa, such a promising player. Dodo will end up as every Fiorentina player in Juve. I know that when we are speaking about Atalanta or Fiorentina player, we always have that. I would personally not fund Fiorentina. Dodo is not even my favorite player. But I think that if Dodo comes to Juve, I think that he's a starter of this Juve. Yeah, I agree with that. Cap. Look, this is what I noticed as well. He's everywhere and nowhere. I don't understand. He has some skills. Yildiz, let this guy develop a bit in a well-organized Juve, and I think he can. We can see him grow a lot. Best right back right now. Hakimi, Koundé. Considering quality of all players, he is not bad. Thank you for 11 months, Hessen. Chef, we can sell Costa as long as it's profitable. You know, of course. Then, if you give me Jonathan closed, no, then I'm not happy. I have no problems with 32 years old players. That's not my problem. I really don't care. But if you tell me he's 40, we think about it. But a few more experienced players, I have no problem. But I'm not a big fan of Jonathan Klose. I know that Tudor coached him. So if you bring me Dodo, which is a different type of player, yes. If you bring me Jonathan Klose, that is there on the market for 12, 15 million euro, then I agree with Paolo. Depends how you actually use the money. Jonathan Klose is played at Nice, played at Marseille. Marseille was the peak of his career. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of Jonathan Klose. Nah, but for me, the problem is not old. 32 is not old, guys. Spartan Warrior is not old. 32 is not old. The quality is important. What they can give. For example, than Alberto Costa, I tell you the truth, I know that I'm unpopular, but I watched it with my eyes. Some things that camera not always are showing, but I watched it with my eyes, and I can tell you that an Alberto Costa, I saw him a lot of times on his knees after 60 minutes of the game. I promise you it's true, huh? On his knees, huh? Because he has no breath anymore. He has nothing. Here we go. No, here we go. Here we read. Alberto Costa, exclusive. Confirmed. We know it, huh? Alfredo, he loves to go with ownership. Sporting made the offer. Now Juventus can decide. Increase the offer for Conceição and starting to program other choices. So, Alberto Costa out. You can increase a bit for Conceição and you can start thinking about the rest. 20 million euro to Juventus. And I tell you, I think Juventus will do it. Yeah, Costa super tired. After 60 minutes, he had no breath anymore. He couldn't. He was like, like at a certain moment I said, but no, Tudor, he's just there. He will notice, he will see it, and he will sub him. No, he continued to play him. I don't know why. Then maybe he has a faculty, he has a skill that he's able at a certain moment to find new air somewhere. I don't know. But I saw him a lot of time, like really on his knees, not being able. It was hot in USA, yeah? But he's a Portuguese player. He should be used to hot temperatures. Really strange. While I was looking also at the other players, they were kind of normal. Juve tired, but not like him. It was really excessive, huh? Igor. That was a player. Okay, we need to go to the other names, guys, because we didn't do anything yet so far, except of, we did the goalkeepers, the center backs, and we did Costa. Then we go to Cambiaso. Look, Cambiaso should renew as well. It's more for trust. It's more for telling him you're really at the center of the project. We believe in you. You're Italian. You're young. You're 25. You already showed something. You already had the armband of captain twice. One time Juve Lazio, one time in USA when the captain band went from McKennie to you before Locatelli entered. We want to continue to trust with you. We believe in you. You are a player that we trust in. Then let's see if we will play you on the left or on the right. We don't know yet. But there are no offers for Cambiaso, no realistic offers for Cambiaso except of the one of Manchester United, City that was there in the winter. There were some serious talks there, then it didn't happen. So Cambiaso will remain at Juve with a new contract. So Cambiaso out of the market today, should be one of the untouchables for Juve for season 25-26, then hoping, of course, that we can see the Cambiaso that we were able to admire, to enjoy in season 23-24 and the first moments of 24-25 until the 5th of December. So Cambiaso stays. Kudryk is one, if I'm not wrong, that has the most games played with the next gen so far. Kudryk, that is a player that I interviewed as well. Kudryk never did that step up enough to play with the first team of Juve. He went also on loan where he didn't convince. Came back to Juve, continued to be a player that is even sometimes rotational player, entering from the bench. Yes, in terms of loyalty, in terms of Juventinità, in terms of important for the next gen, yes, but he will not be a player that will step up. And at a certain moment, because I'm not sure how old Kudryk is, but let me check. I think it's already 22, and so at a certain moment, you really need to speed up. Let me check. Yeah, I was not wrong. 22 years old for Nicolo Kudryk. I told you that I think it's Padova. Perugia. He went to Perugia. On loan, didn't play a lot, came back to Juve, normal season, so it's a player that maximum could stay one more year at Juve, because in the month of August he will be 23, so maximum he can stay one more year, but I think I can be wrong, but I think that he will leave Juve. So Kudryk there, we scratch. Kostic, well, the latest rumors are saying that he convinced Tudor before his first game in USA that he was a player that he could potentially rely on. It's a player that came back extremely serious, dedicated to his work, saying, I don't know what will be my future. I don't know if I will stay, if I will leave, but I can guarantee one thing is that I'm doing it in an extremely serious way. In terms of behavior, boom, I go, I do whatever is requested from me. And this is something that is appreciated a lot. A lot. I can guarantee you that. And now Juventus could think to potentially keep Kostic. Do I want Kostic to stay? No. Okay, one-dimensional player. We know the player really well. A player that is not able to cut in. A player that goes up and then crosses. It's a player that did extremely well in Germany in that 3-4-2-1. Something that I was hoping that Max Allegri would try with Kostic at a certain moment. We never saw it with Max. Where Kostic at a certain moment were really focusing on the defensive phase. Where actually they became even better defensively. It's a player that in Turkey was not able actually to do enough to be reconfirmed. With all the respect for Kostic, I think it's a player that we should turn the page. If he stays, it's because the salary is manageable, because we have a lot of work to do, because Cambiaso will be the starter on the left with Kostic that is ready to enter, so it's a rotational player. Is it the end of the world if Kostic stays? I know that you will launch tomatoes to me. It's not the end of the world if you are able to do a second striker, another offensive player, a midfielder, a right winger, an extra defender. If you are able to fulfill all these requests and these positions reinforcing you being able to sell, and you say, okay, the only one that we were not able to sell, not because we had no offer, not because we didn't want to, but because we have absolutely not the possibility to go for another player there on the left, and you remain with Kostic, I tell you, okay, I take Kostic one more year. But it depends on all the other things. If the starting point of your idea is, we keep Kostic because we think that he can really give something to Juve, then I tell you no. Also because I watched him in USA, it was far from what I was expecting. So, again, if you do all the work and I am satisfied with a smart Mercato in and out, and you cannot replace, because we already have a starter there that is Cambiaso, I tell you, okay. Bravo. Alex 96 is saying Kostic can be the backup until Cabal is fully back. Then you can still see in the winter what we do. But other than that, no. No, absolutely no. Well, Gutierrez was a big name. I think it's Girona, not Getafe, Ronnie. But Gutierrez was a big name, followed by Juve, in case Cambiaso would leave. Cambiaso is not leaving, so no Gutierrez for Juve. Francisco Panita, hermano, is in Ciao Pana. What about Leoni? Look, Leoni is not on the market from Parma, at least not physically. What do I mean with that? Parma, they want to keep the player. So he could be on the market if a team is ready to spend money for him, a lot of money for him, saying, yeah, but we sign him and we leave him there, like what happened with, for example, players a la Spinazzola, etc., etc. Because they really rely on him for the defense. They think that he's still young and that can enjoy one more year of development, so and they can use it. So at the moment, Inter is on the player, Milan is on the player. Juve is always saying, we are also there to have information. Don't forget about us. But it's not the number one target to reinforce Juve in 25-26. Can we spend money on Leoni today, leaving him a year at Parma? No. No. At the moment, no. That's the reality on Leoni. But Juventus is interested. It's just at the moment it's difficult to spend money on a player that you are not even bringing to Juve. Ahmed Marouf, thank you, my friends. Really, really, really appreciate it, brother. Thank you, Habibi. Ahmed is saying, ciao, brother Beppe. Zegrova, Mika Odazze, Leoni, Wesley, and Ben Seguir. These are the players' profiles we should be looking at for the potential on the pitch and on the books. No, don't understand Xhaka, Sancho, close. Look, you are speaking, Ahmed, to someone that is a huge, big supporter in the chat, can confirm of Zegrova, Mika Odazze, Leoni, but Leoni I just explained. Wesley is a good player, but honestly, I think that Dodo is more ready than Wesley. Ben Seguir is a fantastic player as well. So these players, yes, I agree with you, should be priorities. Then Lille. Do they really want to sell Zegrov? I don't know. Lyon, they are so much in financial trouble. They are still in at the moment Ligue 2. They are fighting to hope to go in Ligue 1. So at the moment they have their internal problems. They hope to go back in first division, winning off the field battles, so that they actually can keep the players like Mika Odazze, etc., etc. And if they sell, they will ask at the moment a bit of money until it's official that they stay in Ligue 2, because then the players will be on the market and will be potentially cheaper. At the moment, they are not that cheap in this moment. If they go back like Spartan Warrior is saying in Ligue 1, so then we have a problem. Or they stay in Ligue 1, it's official. It's official. They won their appeal. Well, then it's not that much of an advantage, because then they will ask you a lot of money. I stopped, by the way, the poll about Alberto Costa with how much? 220 votes. More votes than like. Can you believe that? 220 votes. 69% of the people are saying keep Alberto Costa. I hope for you that Damien Comoli, that is from time to time watching the channel, Damien, if you're watching, listen to the people and don't listen to Beppe, because I didn't vote, but I would have voted for sell the player. That would have been my opinion. Let me check if we grew with some Juventini that joined. Yeah, 3 new Juventini of the world joined the channel. So if you didn't yet, please trust the channel by subscribing or sharing the channel. Attention, because we have a fantastic, beautiful VIP in the chat. When I sing VIP, it's because it's my friend Antonio Corsa. I will come back on Ahmed Marouf in a second, but Antonio Corsa is a fantastic, beautiful friend of me. Someone that is extremely close to the Juve world. Why? Because he's someone that is every single day dedicating a big part of his day speaking about Juve, like we are doing here on the channel, with a fantastic, beautiful structure channel. I love structure. You know why I love structure? Because I'm a disaster. I have always been a disaster in organization structure. When I was a manager, I was always looking for an assistant manager that was great in organizing a structure, that could put, things like that. Well, Antonio is fantastic, yeah? Clear hours for the lives, clear topics for the different lives on YouTube, on podcast version, Apple Podcast. So iMusic, you can find him on Spotify, you can find him on Twitch, with a beautiful team as well that I respect a lot. And also Antonio, from time to time, he has these beautiful inside news that are not just there to make some clicks, but I know that I can say that what Antonio is saying is usually extremely reliable. Then sometimes he's wrong, but that's not because of him. It's because sometimes things are not going the way that we are anticipating. Antonio is saying it's AI that is helping. Antonio, you need to understand how to go, but you need to have an idea of the structure, and then AI can help. If you have no idea about the structure, then AI cannot help you. Or at least you need to find the keywords to be helped with. But Antonio Corsa, if you speak Italian, guys, follow him with the 2 talks on YouTube, on all the social media platforms, because great friend of mine that totally deserves. You need to speak Italian. That's important. Beppe, you are our favorite, don't need to change up. No, but you know what I always say, yeah? You know what I always say, Nathan, that it's important to not focus only on one content creator for your favorite club, because then you start going too much brainwash towards an idea. It's beautiful to listen to other ones and then at the end, you listen here, you listen there, you gather information, you do that, and then you create your own idea. This is also what I'm doing, huh? I'm listening to Colpo Gobbo, to 2 talks with Antonio Corsa, to Romeo Agresti. I am on Juventus with Monblano, with Massimo Zampini, with a lot of beautiful guests as well. And then I try to listen. I read papers, Tutto Sport, Gazzetta dello Sport, Corriere dello Sport, Il Bianconero, and this, and then I make my own idea. Then, of course, you know it. I am extremely close to some players, to the club as well, which helps me to bring you as much as possible information as I can. And that's great. Haj is a fantastic, beautiful creator as well that I spotted, can we say it, spotted, and invited a few times here on the channel. Fantastic person and creator. Okay, now that we did the promotion of a lot of fantastic creators, can we go back to what we were speaking about? Attenzione. So I agree with Ahmed that these are fantastic, beautiful players. They all have their own story, of course. Then Xhaka is a beautiful opportunity. Sancho is a bet. Klose is a player that, okay, he was trained by Tudor, but this is not the player that I would go for. But I agree with your statement. Attention, because we go back to what we were speaking about, means here. We spoke about Kudryk, we spoke about Kostic, Pietrelli. Pietrelli is already 22. He has been permanently signed. So he's a Juve player. Could potentially have a chance in first team in some moments of the season. Today he's a hybrid. A bit too good for Serie B, not enough for first team. This is the story of Alessandro Pietrelli that I was impressed because I watched also live in Avellino playing, where when I made the post-game video here on the channel, I told you he impressed me. He's a good player. I watched him a few times on television as well. Not ready first team, too good for Serie C. Can he go on loan? Could be. Or do you want to keep him as a player that is developing one more year in next gen with the ability to ask him to go up, and especially with the continuity, because don't forget, it's not a player that played an entire season with next gen. He arrived in January, February, so it's a player that can start the season with next gen, maybe developing himself, knowing the Juve world, and make that step up. So it's a player that would not be a problem for Juve, but he's already 22, so he needs to accelerate now, because at 22, if you are not yet a first team player, then it starts to be difficult. Rui, that's a chapter apart. I'm a huge, big fan of the person Jonas Rui. I was a big fan of Jonas Rui when he was playing with the next gens. Did he receive a lot of chances with first team? No. A lot of times he entered in extremely delicate moments of the game where he didn't do well. You know, when we are speaking about being at the wrong moment or being at the wrong place at the wrong moment, this is Rui. Unfortunately, it breaks my heart, but I cannot, just because I like the player, because I have affinity with the player, telling you that that he will be a first team player of Juventus 5.26. It's a pity. I think that he could have deserved a bit more chances, because if you decide to keep Rui in first team, giving him a first team contract, you decide that, you're convinced about it, then you need to back up your choice. You cannot take a player that was meant to be next gen player, take him out, saying, bravo, Rui will now be a first team player, and then you totally forget about him and you put him in difficulty, because that's what we did. We have put him in difficulty, which was a real big pity. But I think that Rui will be sold. Is it a pity? It's a pity. You know what is a pity? I think that he could have done really good and being a really super player in next gen, developing himself even more, being ready to integrate the first team maybe this year. We took him, we wanted to accelerate, and the results are these, that we are losing a potential player. That's my opinion about Jonas Rui, but I don't think that he will stay at Juve. No, I'm nearly sure he will not stay. Turicchia, another player that did really well in next gen. A player that changed the season of next gen when he came back from the loan. I met him a few times. I like him. I really like him. Super happy for him. But also like Kudryk, it's a player that is about to be 23 and probably just not enough to be a first team player. 22 already, yeah. No, he didn't make the first national team. He made the under 21, under 21. But in February he will be 23, so also there we need to find some solutions. He went on loan to Catanzaro in I think it was Serie B, where he didn't play that much. Then he came back. Guys, it is what it is. We are speaking about Juventus first team, and if you are doing well in Serie C, unfortunately, didn't work out for Turicchio. It's a player, no. Savona, injured, but he's a player that stays at Juve. Already announced his extension of contract. So now he has no next-gen player that is arriving to the first-team contract, but he has a real first-team contract. For Savona, that is not on the market. He's a player that stays at Juve. There are no voices also because he's injured at the moment, but he will recuperate quite fast. Wea is the player on the market. Wea for 15 million euro to l'Olympique de Marseille. Could be the first real sale, except if the things are accelerating for Alberto Costa. So Alberto Costa and Wea are two players that are on the exit if we are listening to the latest rumors. So Wea, is there someone that is regretting Wea? Is someone that is saying he deserved another chance? Is a player that we trusted in? Is a player that we wanted to keep at Juve? Let me know now before we go towards the midfielders. Then the number 10s, and then the strikers. And in the meanwhile, let me, of course, welcome as a member Ibrahim Muslimani. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my big friend. Wait 1 second, guys. My son just came to tell me Wea should not leave. He's a bit sad for Wea if he leaves. He just popped up there out of nowhere because he was not even here when I was speaking. But I hear some noise. I turn my head. It's my son that is looking at me like that. I said, "What do you want?" He said, "I'm sad for Wea." So my son is sad for Wea. Nava is saying Wea can go, so he doesn't agree with my son. But Nico, then you need to rewind that because we spoke a lot about Alberto Costa. He was also on the thumbnail today. Wea 100% sell. 15 million euro is still cheap for Wea. But how much can you cash in for Wea? We know that he's on the market, or at least Juve made it public that he was on the market. You all remember the talks with Nottingham. You also remember that he was not on the bench against Manchester City. Did we do a mistake there to not put them on the bench to make it public? Probably yes, but you cannot cash in more. And also honestly, Wea has not been a starter the first year, has not been a starter the second year, did some flashes of doing well. I understand. It's a player that... How much did we sign him from Lille? I don't remember. 2 years ago. Timothy Weah, 25. We signed him for 11 million. 11 million. He had a contract of 5 years. So you take off 4 million from the 11. 11 minus 4 is 7 million euro. You sell him for 15, which means that you have a plusvalenza of 8 million euro. So you break even what you still need to pay in terms of depreciation. On top of that, you have plusvalenza on the player. So it's not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. A player, I met him there as well. Of course, it's a player that wanted more chances, but in the way of playing that Tudor has in mind, it's not a player that is coming there. Also, we were probably expecting a bit more from Wea in the 2 seasons that we saw him. Yeah, we need depth, but look at all the players that we are mentioning. And these players, because who is saying we need depth? Chris saying we need depth. And you are correct, but if you are looking at all the players that we are speaking about, Chris, we are speaking about 40 players. 40 players that we need to find solutions for, not all of them, of course, without speaking about new players, without even speaking about, as you can see, Conceição, Colomwani, and other targets that could come and reinforce Juve. So, ok. Where? Centrocampisti, midfielders. Arthur, guys. Arthur is Girona is still on him, but they don't go. Arthur is on him, but they don't go. So Arthur will again be, like a last-minute loan somewhere. Okay, luckily we are not paying him anymore what we did in the past. So thanks to contract extensions and every single year we are able to decrease it. But Arthur, guys, is still a player that is in our books. I'm trying to find, because here I'm typing Arthur, and what do I see on Capology? That they are giving me like 150 Arthurs from Brazil. So I'm trying to find a good Arthur, which of course, obviously, I don't find. Let's hope it's a good one. But where is he? Here. Arthur's profile, La Liga, Girona. Here. It's the good one. Apparently, it's still for 5 million euro in the books, But I think it was decreased. I think it was decreased. Ah, 5 million euro gross salary. Okay. It's 2.5 million. Yeah, this is what I was saying. Yeah. No, yeah. It's 2.5 million now. Yeah. Okay. Which is totally different. Yeah. 2.5. So it's not anymore, how can I say? It's not anymore the situation that we had a while ago with Arthur, that was a total disaster. Because he was not playing, because he was costing us so much. But it's of course still a player that you are paying, because it's still 5 million euro gross that the team needs to pay for Arthur. Will we find a solution with him? Yes, but it can possibly be again a loan solution where you will pay part of the salary. Miguel, do you think that Adzic will have a chance this season? We are arriving to Adzic, so stay with us because we arrived to Adzic, 22 months. Thank you, Miguel. Nico, 5 months, happy to be part of this community. Thank you, really, really appreciate it, Nico. Nico, pay attention because the players that are called Nico, usually they are on the market, like Nico Gonzalez. We'll speak about him in a second. So Arthur is a disaster, yeah, but less than in the past. But he's absolutely not in the plans. Douglas Luiz is not in the plans of Juve. It's not in the plans of Tudor. He has not Juve in his own plans. It's a divorce that is already called. We just need to understand the solution. Will he go back to Premier League? Will he be sold? Will they look for a loan with an option or an obligation to buy? If it's Como, they will ask you for a loan with an option to buy with a part of the salary covered by Juve. Disaster situation. No way that we are giving him to Como, partially paying the salary, loan with option to buy. It's a player that if nobody wants to continue, not him and not Juve and not the coach, sell him. Sell him today. Even if you are not doing plus valenza and profit of the player, just sell him today. Sell him. Manchester United could possibly be on the club. Everton is on the club. Fulham is on the club. Como asked for information, but they cannot go for it. No, 10 million is not enough, flying tracker. We sold him, we signed him for a lot of players like 1 year ago, so 10 million is not okay. So the player needs to be sold. He has some market. That's the advantage of Douglas Luiz, that he has some market. Now, the problem is, of course, that everyone, the entire world, they are aware that he is on the market. So why would you go and actually giving Juventus 35, 40, 45 million euro for the player? You would not do that as a club because you are trying to find a solution, trying to decrease the price, but Douglas Luiz will not be part of Juve 25-26. Locatelli absolutely stays at Juve. McKennie could potentially go 15-20 million euro and he can leave because they are again for the X year again. Problems with the contract extension, again, incomprehension, frustrations. He's annoyed that every single year he needs to postpone because he wants to show that he is a starter of Juve, that he deserves to receive the money that he's requesting, while Juve is saying, nah, but we believe in you, you're a really beautiful joker, but you are not an expert in any position. In the way that we are playing, you are not a starter at Juve. So at the end, no, we don't want to give you what you are asking. So McKennie could be on the market, like Miretti, that also could be on the market. Miretti, that needs to be evaluated by Tudor. So Tudor asked, give him to me a bit. I want to check him. I want to see him with my own eyes before we take a decision. But Juve says, guys, we need to do entry, exit Mercato. If a real offer arrives between the 15 and 20 million euro, he could potentially leave. The same than McKennie. Then you are doing plus valenza. If you are looking at all these names, you are doing profit on Weah. You are doing profit on Alberto Costa. You will do some profit on Facundo Gonzalez, not a lot. On Weston McKennie, if you are able to sell him. On Miretti, you can do. You know that I have always been a sponsor of Miretti, but I have always been also, I believe, honest in telling you, yes, I see the potential, but that Juve was not able to show it in first team. So it's a player that it was good that he went on loan. Did he convince at Genoa? Difficult 4-5 first months, and then beautiful, really beautiful. Miretti scoring goals, assist, performance after performance. I believe that Patrick Vieira was really able to give him a chance. Genoa, it's too much money for them, so Manna and Conte are interested on the player. Look, if he comes to Juve, he's not a starter. He's not a starter. if you have a team that is playing with two-man midfield, which player do we have? We have Loca, Thuram. Who else? Koopmeiners. We will come to Koopmeiners in a second, but Koopmeiners is there. There could possibly be a chance for Miretti. Look, I don't think that for the player it would be good to give him again on loan. He already had his year on loan. So, or you go for him and you give him a chance, a real chance, and he accepts, because that's also an important thing, and he accepts to put himself into play and saying, okay, I start like the last midfielder, but I will show you. And then I will tell you, keep Miretti, because I believe in the kid, because I think that he can do something. But he needs to agree to fight again. And being the last midfielder of Juve in the starting block, then everything can change. Does he want to? I'm hesitant. Because I know that it's a player that, even if he grew up at Juve since the age of 6, 7, I don't remember exactly, but since he was a kid, he was the first player that was really pushing to go on loan. He said, I want to go on loan. I think that Miretti can have a more beautiful career than Fagioli. I think so. But he was the player that asked to go on loan because he said, I want to play. And I understand. And you know what? I respect as well a player that says, I want to go to play. What is a pity is that he, coming back, he would not say, I'm ready to fight for Juve if he received the chances. So if it's a player that doesn't want to fight for a starting spot at Juve, it's correct that we sell him. No? Then also, how can we use Miretti on the field? Big question in that 4-2-3-1. Nico, we already read. And then 20 months, almost 2 years as a member for Juve. Chris, thank you. Why not keeping Miretti? We just spoke about him. So I answered indirectly your question about Fabio Miretti. That again, potential great talent. I think better than Fagioli, personally. But he needs to fight. Sersanti will leave. Thuram, undubious starter. And these are the midfielders. Trequartisti, the more offensive midfielders or offensive players. Adzic could go on loan. There are teams like Sassuolo that are interested in Serie A. Palermo interested in Serie B. It's a player that he needs playing time. He needs really playing time, but that's really a player that I would not let go on selling him. We cannot, because it's a real talent. I think that Adzic has even more potential than Miretti. For what reason? Because I can tell you that Adzic here, mentally, I rarely saw 18 years old players with that mental strength. But not only the mental strength, because the talent is there as well. He needed 1 year to get used to the environment of Juve. Not a lot of players received chances from Tudor in US. He received some minutes there. So that means that he preferred at a certain moment playing Adzic over other players. Which is a message to say, okay, at the moment I don't see you as a starter, but I reward you for the hard work and I see something in you. But I really think that he will go on loan. Why is Palermo playing in City? Super easy, because it's the same ownership. Same ownership. So Manchester City, they have a beautiful friendly tournament in terms of exercise, and Palermo received the visibility. Easy. Adzic doesn't press the way I want him to. I remember seeing him in Juve Lazio. He was a bull. He entered, he was pressing everyone. He was nearly pressing me as well, and I was there right behind the goal. Then it's true that when I watched him in Serie C with the next gen, he was not the fastest player. He was not the one that was really putting the same fire in the non-possession recuperation. So Leicester, I agree. This is also something that I noticed in difference of playing with the next gen and playing with the first team. With the next gen, you see him giving that extra mile in sacrificing, showing that fire that he has inside. While in the next gen, it's like, walking with that yellow suit in the favelas. You remember the meme? I agree. It's not the same fire, but the mentality is there. He wants to win. Whatever he's playing, wants to win. So a year on loan could be good for him. Then if you leave him at Juve one more year, you know that I'm the happiest man on earth. But I think that for him it would be also beneficial. Compagnon will leave Juve. Nico Gonzalez is on the market. There is an offer from Saudi Arabia, or an interest. Let's say an interest, not an offer. There is an interest. Look, if Juventus, they want to do Nico Gonzalez or Adeyemi, Conceição or Adeyemi, Conceição or Sancho, or they want to go for both of them, there is one player that needs to leave, and it is Nico Gonzalez. That didn't convince. You know why he convinced a bit out of necessity? Igor Tudor was as a right winger. Partially he convinced, but this is not why we signed Nico Gonzalez. This is not the position that he should play in, especially not for the money that we spend. So, or you are able to be a starter in that 3-4-2-1 offensively behind the striker. Otherwise, it makes no sense to keep you. So, you flopped at Juve if you are looking at the season. And if you can leave already now, well, we do it. We do it. Offer from Saudi Arabia. Doesn't want to go there, I think, at the moment. He would love to go back one day in Argentina, but he's considering that his time in Europe is not over yet. So, will he accept, will he not accept? At the moment, I tell you, he's on holiday, still in US. Not sure if he will stop in Saudi Arabia before, or, in Saudi Arabia, in South America, in Argentina, before going back to Europe. I have no idea. I think that we will see him again on the 24th of July, in 2 weeks, in La Continassa, where then we will understand a lot. Nottingham Forest need a right winger. Yes, they could be open talks with Premier League, where maybe that could be a better solution for him at the moment. Let's see, but he's out of project, and he will decide if yes or no we will have an extra player on top of Conceição in that position there up front. Atletico Madrid, no voices there. Sevilla are the typical club that, yes, they could be a fantastic opportunity where he could even shine a lot, but they have no money. And they will again annoy you, break your balls like we want a loan for the player. Koopmanners, there are absolutely no offers for the player. This will be the biggest challenge from Tudor. Individual challenge. I'm not speaking about collective. I'm not speaking about the way of playing, the what you need to do on the field. That's not what I'm speaking. But I'm speaking about the challenge on the individualities of players, of people that needs to be recuperated. Koopmanners, there is absolutely no offer for him at the moment. No interest, not even Saudi Arabia. Nobody is at the moment putting bets on Koopmanners because they know that Juventus, they cannot leave him for free. So he will be a player that needs to be recuperated. Do I believe in it? I told you I would love to. But it's more a hope than a certainty. It's more a wish than something that I can already see. Even here they put him as a trequartista, as the player behind the striker. This is not the position for Cope. You need to go with a 3-man midfield if you want Cope to do something. I was doing something today. I was looking at Cope manners from Atalanta. Cope manners from Atalanta, guys. With Ederson from the same season. With De Roon from the same season, so season 23. And look how beautiful it is. Look how beautiful it is. The key passes were compensated by Cope manners. They were equal in forward percentage of passes. Progressive passes, no from Teun Koopmeiners, but these were compensated by Ederson and De Roon. Duels won, De Roon was a beast in percentage, and Koopmeiners absolutely not. Possession won. This is not the task of Koopmeiners, but he was able to carry that ball. Forward passes there. So you see the things that Koopmeiners was not able to do were compensated by the other one. So, but you need to take the 3 of them. You need to take the 3 of them. Otherwise, it's not working. In a 2-man midfield, look, if you take away a De Roon, for example, look that you're starting already to suffer in duels, and also possession one will not be that high anymore. So you need to go with 3. Otherwise, it's not a beautiful, complete graphic there. If you're looking at today, Locatelli and Thuram, they are covering a big part of that circle. But look what is missing. Look what is missing. The key passes of maybe Koopmeiners from Atalanta. You see? Here you have a beautiful graph. Not as beautiful as Atalanta 23-24, but you start having a beautiful graph. But this Koopmeiners, we totally missed him. But he needs to play with 3. Otherwise, it's not working, eh? Otherwise, it's not working. Because if you play with 2, it's he has no spot there. Yeah, the duels are much lower. I agree. You see? I would love to play with a 3-5-2, but then why are we going for Sancho, Ademi, Conceição, Kenan Yildiz, and other players that we are speaking about? So no. Or you need to go towards a 4-3-3. And maybe the 4-3-3 could be an idea, but at the moment, from what I heard, Tudor is not taking it into consideration. Then depends on the market that we will do, but 4-3-3 for this team could be ideal, I think. Could be ideal. You play with Kalulu. Look, let's go to do something. Wait. Let's go and do something. I'm just guessing, guys. I have no information about... Yeah, the information actually that I have is going the other way around. But if you go towards... if you would go for a 4-3-3, you could potentially go with this. Wait, because it's a long time ago that I didn't use, so I don't even remember all the players that I had there. Okay. Cambiaso, Kalulu, you have Gleison Bremer, you have Gatti. Where is he? I die. Oh, I'm annoyed with that program. You have a Gatti, then you have Thuram, Locatelli, you have I will just put the players that we have now today. We need to put Jonathan David. Look, in that 4-3-3, you don't even need to spend too much money. This one would solve so many tactical problems, according to me. Tell me, guys, if I'm wrong or not. But you have a Koopmeiners that will play finally in his position. You have a Conceição that is there, that is not obliged to do all the wing. For what reason? Because Koopmeiners can drop a bit. Conceição can help a bit. Kalulu is already there in a 4-man defense. The same on the other side. You can leave them here, you know. And then, if you need to shift in certain moments towards up certain moments of the game, like this, you can do it. If it's the other way around, up, you can do it. But that could be a really beautiful, according to me, starting thing. Without reinforcements. Without reinforcement. Of course, people are telling me, what about the subs? But that's a good question. So for the subs, who can we put there? Then we need to start looking. I would keep Rugani. Okay. Potentially, wait, I will come back with other names. You have a Savona that is ready as a right back. We saw him already. We have a Colomani that we need, of course, to permanently sign. That could be here, together with Jonathan David. Up. We are selling a lot of players. You have a Cabal that can come back. And then you need to check for other players. Indeed, you need to check for other players. So, in that case, I would keep a Miretti. That is already your player. I would keep a Miretti. You can go with a Xhaka. When I was watching at this, guys, look at that. So I take away Koopmeiners, boom, and I put. That is an opportunity, Xhaka. Look at that. He's actually offering what we need here. You have a Thuram that is carrying the ball. You have the possessions that are won by Locatelli. You have duels in percentage that are won by equally, more or less, a Locatelli, a Xhaka, and also a Kefren Thuram a bit lower. But here we are. Progressive passes made by Xhaka and by Locatelli. Not that much by Thuram, but we compensate with two players here. We have a Xhaka with key passes. That's really beautiful for a bargain opportunity. But you know what is the advantage? That if you're adding Xhaka there, you can alternate. So you have a Miretti, you have a Xhaka. Then of course here you can put a Sancho or an Adeyemi, or that's what Juventus has in mind today. Kostic could be the player that is momentarily here, but we need to go. You tell me that I need to pronounce it Gakka. Confirm, guys. I'm not an expert of the pronunciation. So only, of course, if you come from Yaka. People, you see, we start already. People are saying Yaka, Gakka. Is it Yaka or Gakka? Shaka. You see, Shaka. Tell me, So Nino Suli. I say Giacca. Yeah, but I say Jawad. It's not what you say. It's the correct pronunciation. What is the correct pronunciation? So, Nino Sulli. I will tell you the name. Tell me if it's correct or not. So you are telling me since earlier that I need to pronounce it Gacca. Can you confirm that it is Gacca? I want Nino Sulli, that is an Albanian, to confirm me that it is Gacca. Karavic is saying no. I know how it's written. I want to know how we pronounce it. Giacca. Ah, like Giuseppe. Giacca. So I start again. Is it giacca? Like a jacket in Italian, una giacca. Here we go. Giacca. Giacca. Bravo. Bravo. At least today I became smarter. No, because you know why? Because I don't trust English commentators or German commentators because it's not from the country. So sometimes you hear Giacca or you hear Ksakka or you hear whatever. But it's not because they are saying that it's right. I prefer to have local people to teach me how it's pronounced. Giacca, coming from Albanian people, then I say, okay, great. Now I know. And from now on, it is Giacca. Giacca, 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 Giacca. So Giacca, I think that it could be. So I go for Giacca. I would go 15 million euro, guys. He wants to leave. He's ready for a new journey. He was already in talks with Milan. Didn't happen. So, and look, guys, you put a Giacca, you put a Miretti. You have 5 beautiful midfielders here already that can alternate. Sometimes you can play still with a 3-4-2-1. You still have your players here that you need to reinforce with Sancho. I would go with a 4-3-3. But he's not old. He's 32. Mamma mia. Look, you have Thuram that is young. You have Koopman that is under 30. He's 27. You have Locatelli, I believe, he's 27 as well. So you have Miretti. If you keep Miretti, you have a young player there. I would even keep Adzic, if you want to pronounce it, Adzic, because that's how you pronounce it, Adzic. Vasilije Adzic. So, and then you have youth, and then you can have a more experienced player a la Giacca. Is it world-class midfield? No. 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 Giacca is not Tevez, guys. It's absolutely not Tevez. Yeah, that you can even alternate at certain moments. You can do a lot, huh? Giacca. Ibrahim Muslimani. Pirlo from Temu. It's a different player. It's a total different player than Pirlo. But yeah, we are starting to build. Attention, it's not over because we are speaking here, but we need to go back to Bangula is on sale. I spoke with him. I confirm you that he will not be part of Juve 25-26. Is it correct or not? If Tudor is not believing in him, in the way that he wants to play, if he can bring you a profit that we need. We go. Yildiz. I don't know what are these voices of kids that are saying that Juventus is thinking about doing a swap with Araujo. I don't even want to comment these voices that are pushed by Barcelona, a lot by Barcelona side. I don't know. I don't know where it's coming from, but I can guarantee you that Yildiz wants to stay at Juve. So I don't want to speak about Yildiz. Jonathan David just arrived. Hopefully he will not leave. Milik is not in the plans and should leave. He dyed his hair. I don't know if you saw it. Pecorino is not for Juventus first team. And Vlahovic is a problem. It's a problem. It's a huge, big problem. It's the problem. That's what we have at the moment. How much for Milik? No, Milik, if he can go, he can go. Of course. They are pissed off with Nico Williams. They didn't even know about Yildiz before the Club World Cup. Now Yildiz. I know, guys. Yildiz stays. Die. Don't even take it into consideration. Juventus, they are about to extend his contract with an extension to 3.54 million euro a season. So, which was important to do. If we would not have done it, or saying, it's okay, we have a contract with him until 2029, let's enjoy a bit still the player with a low. Then, did he impress you, guys? Did he impress you at the Club World Cup? But I'm not saying did he impress you like we're happy to see what he did, but did he surprise you for the level that he reached at the Club World Cup? Because I know that here before the Club World Cup, before I went to USA, some people were saying, no, but now it's time that he confirms because he's far from the number 10. It was too soon to give him, and we don't believe, and it was not good. Did he surprise you? Did you know? Were you finally happy that we saw him? Because I can tell you I lived it there, from third person in the 3 games, that I was there in 2 weeks, that it was Yildiz mania, that people went totally crazy about Yildiz. When I spoke with people in the street, who's that number 10? That number 10 is great. I was speaking, they didn't even know how to pronounce the name, but they were like, wow. Andrea said, it felt like he stepped up. The big difference that I saw from Yildiz there, he was not anymore the young player that is at the service of Dusan Vlahovic or not. It's the one that said, basta. I really want to wear that number 10, and I don't want anymore to be at the service of people. I do it, like that fantastic pass for Colomboigny, etc., but I take my responsibility. I step up in terms of maturity and also in terms of responsibility. I know that people expect from me, and I will show it. And if someone is starting to scream on me and they are not correct, I will answer back. Because I stepped up, because I'm an international level player. So I saw that maturity, that consciousness of being a mature player from Kenan. So, Dorsium, no, it is normal to grow like that. Ibrahim Yildiz to Barcelona swap, Araujo plus 20 million, I heard it too, no. Stecchino, he showed qualities of a future leader, I agree. Araujo is decent, but to trade for the center of our project, who is writing this nonsense? I don't know, guys. Makes no sense. Then, will you keep Kenan Yildiz for 5 more years? This is something I cannot promise you. I'm just happy that the world found out that he was a top-class player, but pay attention. I try to lock him really well. He's a monster and he's playing better every match. Roberto Gallo, Beppe, tell me how Yildiz is only 3 million a year and someone like the because it's super easy, Roberto Gallo. It's super easy because he has a organic grow, Yildiz. Youth Academy player, the best Youth Academy player at a certain moment, so contract for the best Academy player. Next gen that is partially also promoting to the first team with a low contract with the number 15 for his first season, then the growth, the belief with the adjusted contract, and now he starts to grow because he already showed something, because we continue to believe in him, because there is some international interest as well, so you grow in contract extension. But this is the smartest way to build. You grow and we grow together with you, and we will not give you from 1 million euro 12 million euro. You have the possibility to continue to grow, and I prefer to do every year, every 2 years, a small retouch on your contract, organic. You grow, we grow together, hand in hand. Organic grow, good grow, not crazy grow. And then one season wonder, and then you don't regret. I think this is really great. What we did with Fiorentina was, of course, that you had a competition of Arsenal, a competition of Atletico Madrid, competition from a lot of teams. Fiorentina that said, you want the player, pay 80 million euro. And today, in today's world, one of the things that looks like the agents understood really well is that if you sell a player for 50 million euro, they are expecting a contract for 5 million euro. If you sell a player for 80 million euro, they're expecting 8 million euro salary for the player, netta. If you sell him for 120 million euro, it's 12 million euro. So they go with actually 10% of the value of the player. That is actually the salary. But you see, that's why the agents they really love that a lot of clubs are competing for their players so that they actually can increase the price for the value. And by the way, they are asking more money for the player because they go with a rough calculation of 10 million euro, or 10% of the value. If you sign Dusan Vlahovic for 80 million euro from Fiorentina, that's what they were asking, 8 million euro for a player starting. They were even really smart in actually making an increase year by year for the player, which was absolutely not sustainable, absolutely not healthy. No, but this is how you throw everything away. This is how you go totally crazy and where you go in terms of not being healthy. That would be the biggest mistake, to offer Kenan Yildiz 7.5. Why? Why would you do that? He has how much now? 1.5, I believe. Why would you do that? That's totally, it makes no sense. Don't take a picture, because you know what you will do with 7.5 million euro for netta to the player. You know what you will do? That tomorrow, if he's missing a pass, you kill him. That you are putting unnecessary pressure on a player that is not even asking to have that much money. If he missed three games in a row, you don't want him anymore. Don't do that. Stupid. Ahmed, brother Babbitt, thank you, my friend. Can you please make a list of potential ins and outs with valuation, please? We just went to the outs. Then, of course, it was a long live, and I understand that not all the people could go for it. But the potential outs are here. I don't remember what I said, but Perin, if he leaves for nothing, guys. Dafara goes on loan, so here you will not cash in with goalkeepers. Jalot, we took him for 3.5 million. For 2 million euro, he can leave. I can tell you. Facundo Gonzalez will probably go for a 1 million euro with a possible 50% of the resale, not more than that. Kelly, you will need to cash in. Probably you will even lose a bit. So we signed him for, I believe, 17 million euro. Then it depends what. For 15, he can go. Cambiaso will not leave. Costa, we said 20 million euro. The next gen player, well, guys, they don't reach even 1 million euro. For 250k, Kudryk could leave. Kostic, if he leaves, how much can you cash in? 3.5 million euro? 5? Pietrelli stays. Rui, after the year that he had, or you give him on loan, or you give him for 500k to a small club with a potential resale 2 million max. Turicchia also, Savona stays. Well, 50 million euro, we said it. Arthur, we are happy if some club goes for him. Douglas Luiz, well, I believe that the 35-40 million euro is what you can request for him now. 15-20 for McKennie. Miretti, 15-20. Sersanti, I'm not speaking about. Thuram is not on the market. Azic on loan. We don't want to sell him. Compagnon can leave. Nico Gonzalez, that's one of the toughest one. Nico Gonzalez is one of the toughest one on the market. Because Nico Gonzalez cost, you signed him for 30, how much? 38? Let me check again. Gonzalez. Nico Gonzalez. There are two. Not the one of Manchester City, but the one of 28 is said here on transfer market, but there were some bonuses and things like that. So it's not 37, huh? It's a bit more than 28. I think it's there something like 31 or something after 1 year. I still think that we what did I hear? I think like 28 to be break even. So it's still a lot, huh? That's what you need to ask for Nico Gonzalez. Bangula, I hope we go in double digit. At least 10-12 million euro for Bangula. Milik will go for free. And then Vlahovic, if you don't want to lose money, you need to sell him for 24. Less than that, you lose money. Ins, the video is long, so I will come back with ins. Voila. Guys, 2 hours 24 of live. I think it's time to say buonanotte to all the Juventini. I didn't say it today in the video, but I will do it tomorrow morning because I really want to repeat it. That for the people that didn't do it yet, it would be fantastic, really fantastic and super appreciated if you could actually take a few minutes of your time, it's not taking long, and actually support me and help me on that one here. So there is a huge, big content award, football content award, that I have been contacted to actually submit my submit my nomination to actually to see if I will be between the nominations. It's international, so it's not in Italy, but it's really international for content creators. So I'm extremely happy that they contact me to submit my nomination. But then all the fans can just submit their creator that they want to see nominated. You have different categories like a new creator, video creator, like podcast, etc., etc. I know that some of you already did it thanks to the Telegram group, but also, and I put it here in the comment section, the link. Some did it yesterday, also thanks to the post on the community tab from YouTube. Would help a lot. And would be fantastic, because that would be a dream for our work of our community that is noticed on international level. Would be something just crazy. I already won, I tell you. I already won just by being noticed. That's already a beautiful victory for me. But then, why stopping? Why should we stop dreaming? I told you yesterday, I was showing you, nominations are live. It's totally free. big creators are participating, I would love to. So, if you would love to support the channel, you have it, the link here in the chat. So tomorrow I will explain it a bit better, probably in the video, for the people that didn't watch it. Juventino Vero needs to go back. Yeah, actually, there are like 2-3 questions. So you click the link, and then they will ask is it for yourself or for a creator? And then they will ask you which is the creator that you want to put, what is the reason, why, and then in what category do you put him? You know, then you can choose what category you put me. Video content creator, about club or whatever. You can even do multiple ones, and then that's it, I believe. That's it, I believe. No, you at the moment it's not. At the moment, it's not where you can choose who wins. It's you can choose who you put as your favorite creator. So I have already been contacted. You know, like being made aware that they are open. Would be nice to see me there. Then it's depending on how many people are pushing to see me there, because you are actually convincing the jury to choose the different nominations. I know that it's really Premier League driven, so you don't make a lot of chance, but if we could do that, what a dream it would be. What a dream it would be to actually be there. So, but of course, it depends on you, on the time that you want to spend in clicking the link. It's not taking long, but every support would be beautiful. Mlaggio, we put GJustjuve. Who do you want to put? So, ragazzi, I close the live. It was a funny one. I hope you appreciate it. So thank you. Why are you always asking the same question? Do I put GJustjuve? Who? But you put who you want. If you want to put I don't know, whoever content creator, you can do it. But if you would do it for me, I would appreciate it, of course. Massimo Lesti did it already. He said it took 2 minutes. Thank you, Massimo. Ah, I understand. Do we put Giuseppe Bognani? Or of course you put me. You put GJustjuve. Okay, I understand. Of course. My bad, guys. So put GJustjuve. Yeah, GJustjuve. Now I will go and sleep because it's nearly 2 a.m. Ragazzi, grazie. Forza. Juve.